Mark didn't use options to get rich fast. He used them to get paid for waiting. This story shows how an everyday investor used covered calls conservatively. This approach added meaningful income without turning investing into a casino. Meet Mark. He's 42 and works in medical device sales. He earns about $110,000 a year. He has a family, a mortgage, and limited time. Mark is already doing the right things. He's maxing his 401k, investing in index funds, and staying consistent. But he has a question. Can his portfolio produce income without more risk? By his early 40s, Mark built a portfolio worth about $450,000. This money is mostly in broad market ETFs and stocks he plans to keep long-term. Mark is not a trader. He doesn't want to watch charts all day. He seeks slightly higher cash flow, less reliance on salary, and a smoother investing experience. That's when he learns about covered calls. What are covered calls? Here's a simple explanation. A covered call means you own a stock, agree to sell it at a higher price, and receive a payment today. This payment is called a premium. Your downside risk doesn't increase, but your upside is capped. Covered calls trade some upside for income. Mark sells covered calls only on stocks he owns, companies he'd sell, and positions that feel fully valued. He prefers short-term calls and far out of the money on stable stocks. He does not use leverage, trade weekly options, or chase volatility. This isn't speculation. This is yield management. Over time, Mark generates about $1,200 to $1,500 per month. That totals roughly $18,000 per year. Some months are lower and some higher. But overall, the income is steady, the stress is low, and the strategy is repeatable. Mark reinvests most of the income. Sometimes he uses it for Roth contributions or smoothing cash flow during slow sales months. Mark knows covered calls will underperform in raging bull markets, but will outperform in flat or choppy markets. This strategy reduces psychological volatility. Mark is okay with that. He wants to stay invested comfortably for decades. Mark avoids selling calls on speculative stocks. He doesn't use options to make up for losses. He won't turn income strategies into gambling. Covered calls can be boring when done correctly. And boring is the point. Today, Mark's portfolio does three things. It grows, generates income, and reduces emotional swings. He still invests in index funds and works his job. But now, his money works for him, not just in the future. The lesson from Mark's story is clear. Options aren't dangerous, misusing them is. Used conservatively, covered calls can add income, reduce stress, and increase consistency. They won't make you rich overnight, but they may help you stay rich over time. In the next video, discover how a simple side business quietly outgrew a $65,000 salary. Subscribe for realistic stories of how everyday people build wealth without hype.